What's up, everybody? I am Snigginoff, and I am happy to have you guys back to watch another video of me playing Castile, conquering the world, the scrappy little Spaniard who could. Anyways, on the last video, we kind of were just getting set to go forth in our future endeavors, possibly looking to go to war with either Morocco or Tunis. Trying to just solidify our base and get to Administrative Tech 5 so that we can take ideas as soon as possible. Which currently it shows it's going to be about 4 more years of in-game time, not real time, to get there. So let's go ahead and unpause and try to get there as fast as we can, shall we? I have enough money for another church, which I will go ahead and build if there are any good provinces left to build it in. Once again, putting these in anything above that gives you 0.10 ducats or higher is worth it in general. Anything below that is kind of iffy. You can do it, but those will pay off. Like 0.10s and higher will pay off much faster, you know, because of the way math works. If you're familiar with math and have heard of math before, the concept and the application. Yeah. What do I want to do? What I really want to do is I want Aragon to fabricate some claims on Tunisia, which they are currently not doing. They're more interested in making claims on us. I wouldn't mind going to war over some of these provinces down over here. Like, the province of Tunis itself is 14 development. It's a coastal center of trade and a pretty decent important node that flows into our node that we can feed to our vassal, feed to our personal union, and not have to pay any monarch points for it. And all of those seem like good deals. But currently, they haven't, even though I told them, hey, I want all these provinces. And I don't really get to see what they're doing with their diplomats and things like that, unfortunately. I can't really tell them where to send their diplomats and what to do. I can only just kind of guide them in the ways I want them to go. I am going to make a claim down here on Tangiers in Morocco. But that's not the war I want. This is the war I want. They are allied. Oh, they're allied with the Ottomans? Never mind. That's not the war I want. It was all a joke. I'm kidding. Just forget I said anything. On the flip side, I could instead go to war with Tlemcen, who are allied with 2 little tiny guys. And Aragon can only fabricate a claim here on this province because it's the only one they border and it's Hetile. But I already have claims on these 3 provinces, and I could possibly just take this one, even though we don't have a claim on it, and then give Aragon these provinces right here for them to core. That's an option, for sure. I don't really want to fight Tunis just because I'd have to fight the Ottomans. And the Ottomans, it's like, they're like the France of Turkey. They're just big and strong and powerful and super terrifying. Let's go into the ledger real quick, and I'll try to make you understand why these guys are so awful. Currently, if we just look at the total armies in the world, number 1 in total army is France, 42,000 troops. Number 2, the Ottomans, 40,000 troops, and those are below their force limit, so they can build even higher than that. We're Castile. We're sitting here at 32,000. Now, to be fair, along with that, we do have Aragon's 20,000 troops and Naples probably about 12,000 troops. Naples 13,000 troops. 12,000 right now. So we do have, like, overall, between our 3 people, we do have more troops overall than either France or the Ottomans. Although that's not factoring in, like, if we were to go to war with Tunis, they have 17,000 troops, which you can see right there. So, like, it might be about even. But the other thing that's really terrifying about France and the Ottomans is not just that they have a bunch of troops to begin with, it's that they have very large economies and can buy can afford to buy a bunch of mercenaries to just, so once you've ground down once both sides have ground down all their manpower, they can just keep hiring mercenaries, as many mercenaries as they want, and just keep spitting them out. So you have this never-ending stream of like reusable troops that they just keep sending at you. It's really difficult to beat, especially in the early game as you're getting your footing. Later game, when you're more powerful, it's a lot easier. Also, another disadvantage that we have is, 30,000 of our troops, Aragon's 18,000 and Naples 12,000, are under our direct control. It's up to the AI where they send those troops. And there's a few ways you can get around that. You can tell your allies to attach to you. But if you do that, then all of a sudden we've got 60,000 troops all marching together, and most provinces don't have a supply limit of 60,000. So then we're just marching through land, taking just all the attrition in the whole world, just randomly killing off men because we're marching in this gigantic stack, like it's Civ 3 or something. Shoutouts to Civ 3, and more importantly Civ 4. So yeah, I'm not sure I really want to tussle with the Ottomans. So maybe the war with Tlemcen would be a better idea. Or, the Ottomans look like they're at war with Hungary right now. So maybe if we wait long enough, we could go to war with Tunis and the Ottomans won't join in. That's also an option. But we have the last jousting tournament. We can feel it in the wind. Soon our equestrian elite will be nothing more than a dream remembered, as the chivalrous tradition dies out before the onslaught of modernity. I know what it's trying to say, modernity, but I don't know exactly how to pronounce that word. The world is changing, but for now, for one last time, let the Knights of Castile ride. Forward to glory. We get morale of armies, which is good. Yearly army tradition, which is good. Yearly prestige, which is good. We lose 30 admin power, which is bad, but it's not all that much admin power. And some ducats, but we have enough. Or we can lose prestige. Now we're going to take the last jousting tournament. It's a pretty good event. It's something I almost always take. So, if we were to go to war with Tunis, I really need them to have claims on Tunis, and they just don't right now. If we were to go to war with Tlemcen, fighting Togurt and Fezzan wouldn't be a problem. One way we could get around calling the Ottomans in is we could declare our war on Fezzan over here, because their independence is being guaranteed by Tunisia or Tunis. So any war that's declared on Fezzan, Tunis will automatically join in on, and they won't be able to call their allies in, I'm pretty sure. But to do that, we would have no reason to go to war. There's no way we can get any claims down here on Fezzan, and unless they insult us diplomatically, there's no way for us to have a casus belli, is what the term is, but there's no way for us to have a reason to go to war with Fezzan. But you can declare a war with no reason. It's just it costs you some stability and also a bunch of war exhaustion, which isn't something we've talked about yet. But the higher your war exhaustion gets, the worse it is for your country. But the doctrine of particular judgment. When we die, God judges immediately and decides the soul's fate until it awaits the last judgment. A monk has started a doctrinal dispute that verges on the edge of heresy. When he claimed that there was no purgatory and saying prayers for the dead would not assist their passage to heaven, the disputes are threatening the very unity of the church. So, 1. He's probably a heretic. We get 2 papal influence, and Catholicism gets 1% closer to the Reformation. Or 2, they lose reform desire, but we get a little unrest in one of our provinces. I don't mind taking the small amount of papal influence and making them go closer to the Reformation. Reformation's going to fire no matter what. There's no way to stop it. So having it happen sooner rather than later is fine. And I'm far enough away from where the Reformation will spawn that I probably won't end up being affected by it whatsoever. Pirates are raiding our coasts because they're dicks. Thankfully, our manpower is going back up, so we don't have to worry as much about getting into a war anymore. Let me pull you back from the Ottomans. I said, yeah, there we go. Looks like the Ottomans are kind of kicking the crap out of Hungary at the moment. Who are they fighting? They're fighting Albania, Augsburg, and Hungary. So they've already fully occupied Albania. In the middle of fully occupying Hungary, and it looks like they might be fighting along with Venice. Albania and Hungary. Or it may be a separate war that one of them declared. But yeah, Hungary is getting torn apart, it looks like. And it doesn't look like the Ottomans are having much trouble with it, so it's doubtful that the Ottomans would be unlikely. Yeah. Ottomans would definitely defend them, and bad things would happen. -2 stability, extra war exhaustion, not what we want. So if we were to declare on Tlemcen right now, though, we could call on Portugal if we wanted to. We probably don't want to, and their only allies would be Fezzan and Togurt, and they're not very big, not very strong. And we could take like their northern coast and feed it all to Aragon. And I think I had what? Didn't we decide I had room for 15 territories to give to Aragon? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 along that northern coast that I could give to them without being afraid, because they had 17, and I can get them up to 32. So yeah, if I were to give them that whole northern coast of Africa, that would be fine. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. It seems like a good time, and I've been just sitting here for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and declare it. I'm going to declare it over this province. I may need to get military access from both Morocco and Portugal. Or I can send, depending on what the navies look like, I can just use my transports to just ferry some troops across. Another option I can do is just sit here and let Aragon and Naples go and do the invasion and not worry about any of it. That is also an option. But this gives me a chance to like expand a little bit more up here in Northern Africa and get myself at least a little bit more of a power base. I'm gonna go ahead and split up my trade fleet from my war fleet, send them back out. I'm gonna detach 10,000 troops. I'm going to ask Tunis if they'd be willing to give me military access. They would. So I could send my troops over here and land directly on Tlemcen, but instead I'm going to land over here in Tunisia, or Tunis, and then march over. It's a little bit better because it's going to be more likely for us to have a safer landing spot, which is important. Our queen has died, which is fine. Hopefully we never had to worry about using her anyway. And between the three of them, they've only got 25,000 troops. And they're on Tech 5, and we're on Tech... also Tech 5, but we're about to go up to Tech... We could go up to Tech 6 in like 2 months if we wanted to. So maybe we don't have as big of an advantage as I thought we did, but we still have a pretty decently sized advantage. Especially if I can maybe catch out one of these armies. I don't really want to fight 19,000 right now. Or I can just chill there and go pick up another 10,000, which is probably the best idea. I'm going to go ahead and bring all the cavalry over as well. Oh, I have too many diplomatic relations again because I now have a military access agreement with Tunisia. Tunis, just Tunis. I want to call them Tunisia because, you know, there's a real country named Tunisia. But yeah, they're all marching south, down over there, to go fight my troops, the Nepalese, the Neapolitan troops. I could take military tech 6, but I'd have to pay a 30% penalty on it because I'm 3 years ahead of time. So I'm going to wait unless I start losing this war, then I'd think about taking it. But other than that, I'm probably just going to chill on it. I'll go pick up one more 10 stack and bring it over. I'll just leave 2 behind. Fazan wants out. You just want a white piece. Nope, they'll give us war reparations. That's fine. I'll take your war reps. War reps. Unfortunately, that means the Neapolitan. That's what I'm gonna call them. The Neapolitan army gets black flagged, so they have to go back to friendly territory to be able to do anything. But now that I've got 30,000 troops over here in North Africa, that shouldn't be too big of a deal to win this war pretty easily. Did we not land those troops? Apparently we didn't land those troops. Where do I want to send my diplomats? Let's go ahead and get another claim on Morocco. Let's improve with Savoy for a little while. Sorry, I'm just trying to think through like what my next steps are here. Yeah, Naples had to walk all the way back up here to Spain to be able to get themselves where they can utilize their troops again. Can't walk there, can walk there. Through the boats, that's crazy. Alright, sweet, we won that siege. Come over here. We're also at war with these guys, Togurt. And I don't know if we're really going to have to go over here and deal with them to get what we want out of them. Let's come back from Naples. Let me see what the peace deal looks like. So what I really want are these 4 provinces. Unfortunately, I will have to pay a little bit of Diplo points for this province right here because I don't have a claim on it. But I think that's fine. It's only 24. And it's not going to be too difficult. They won't accept it right now because the war is too short and they haven't lost this fort yet. But honestly, it shouldn't be very much longer until they're willing to give me what I want. What I really want. So, I've been able to call Portugal into this war for this whole time if I wanted to, but no real reason, obviously. Like, it's not like I really struggled getting this war won. I'm also waiting on military tech. We went over that for another 2 years. So the 1st of January in 1466, I'll take this tech, because every year this will tick down, essentially. And I really want to get this in February 1466. That's the big goal right now. It's one of the reasons why I didn't go to war with Morocco and I just went to war with Tlemcen instead, so I can feed all this to Aragon. Because it should be, if I give them, basically what I'll do is I'm going to take it all for myself, but instead of coring it, I'll then go into the subject interactions, and I'll have to give them this one first, Dara, and then once I give them this, then I'll be able to give them this one, then this one, then this one. And they'll core all of it for me, which is nice. One of our prestigious vineyards has shockingly produced a wine of vastly inferior quality. Needless to say, people think less of our country for it, and I hope I never drink any. I'll lose some prestige just because the game hates me. Togurt is almost full occupied. They're going to want out pretty soon. So basically I'm just waiting on this siege to finish up, and we'll be done. The Ottomans look like they beat Albania and Hungary and didn't take any land. They may have taken this. They already have a core on it. So that's kind of strange. And, like, it looks like Venice won as well. Like, nobody took any land out of that war. Kind of odd. I'm kind of just holding this bet back so that when it's time to do the peace deal, I can just do it immediately. It's a bad habit, but it's something I do because it's easier that way. I'm going to send these guys up to here. One of the things these troops are doing while they're sitting on these territories is there's each province has a loot bar that it looks like we have completely taken everything out of. The longer you sit on a province with the loot bar, it will slowly drain. Like all our provinces have loot bars, and it takes a little while to fill back up. And the higher it is, the more tax income you get and stuff. So like when we take these provinces, their loot bar will be at 0. So Aragon, who we're going to give it to, is going to make less money from them as we wait for the loot bar to fill back up. Tlemcen came over here and picked a fight with me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave one guy there, send these 9,000 over here, and then send those guys there to hopefully reinforce the siege and reinforce the battle both at the same time, so we don't, lose. We did it, guys. We made it happen. Well, once again, war's almost done. It was super easy, super quick, but at least it's bringing our country forward a little bit. No, I don't want your peace offer. Actually, I do want Togurt's peace offer. I declined it because I wasn't paying attention. I want to take all of your monies, and I want to take your war reparations. And I can end your rivalry with Fazan for 10 prestige, which seems fine. So we get some prestige out of that, get some money out of that, and then we're going to take Tlemcen's northern coast once we finish that siege. Take all that. Once again, take all their money, take war reparations from them, even though it won't be worth much. They won't have any coastal land, they'll just have these 4 provinces. And then also, I cannot end their rivalry here for 10 prestige. I wonder if I could take a little bit less money. Because I think I'd rather just have the prestige, to be honest with you. Like, 10 prestige is a lot. It puts us up to 41. That puts us, like, the mission to get to 50 prestige, that puts us really close to it if we decide to take that in the future. So, we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so typically, like we did in the last war, we would core this land. Pay the admin points to turn it into our core provinces. But instead, we're going to go over to subject interactions. We're going to go to Aragon. We're going to go to grant province. So I can grant them a bunch of my stuff, like all the things that they border, Soria, Riola, Navarra, Murcia. But the one I want to give them is Dara, what I just took. So now I'm going to give it to them. They're going to core it. And now that I've given them that one, I can give them Iran. I can give them Tlemcen. And I can give them Wajda, that place. So instead of me spending the admin points to core it, they're going to spend the admin points to core it. And also because of the way the unique interaction between Castile and Aragon works, I'm not even going to have to pay the Diplo points to get these. I'm just going to get them for free. I'm also going to leave a small... I'm probably going to leave 10,000 troops behind here, because these provinces are likely going to rebel. Actually, I'm going to leave 15,000 behind here and take 10,000 back home. These provinces are likely to rebel. And I don't want to have to... I don't want to risk Aragon not having the troops down here to put down the rebellion. So, we just got the event, the House of de Tristramara. With the union of Juan and Isabel, we have gained not only a spouse but also an ally in the realm. The new de Trastamara is an old and influential family, and their seat in Salamanca is the jewel of the kingdom. Of course, friendship has to go back the ways, and Isabel will be expected to speak for her kin, while a king will be expected to consider such advice carefully. So now, Salamanca, which is over here. It's essentially like this is where our queen's family is from, is what it's telling us. Salamanca is the seat of the family of our queen consort. This province will be less likely to revolt, will be granted privileges, making it harder to tax or convert. So until the end of the game, although it switches around depending on where your consort is from, we get less revolt risk there, but also much less missionary strength, and also it gets a little bit of autonomy. It's not a big deal, kind of like more of a role-playing thing for the game. Also, we just got a new heir, and thankfully he is not poop on a stick. He's a 4/3/4. If you remember, the highest you can get is a 6/6/6. Actually, it's not even a he; it's a she. So we're gonna have a queen as our next ruler. The highest you can get is 6/6/6, which is an 18 overall. So 4/3/4 is an 11 overall, which is a little bit above average and getting close to the like pretty good to really good side of things. So that's very nice. I'm sure she'll find a way to die probably before she becomes queen, or like 2 years after she becomes queen, because that's the way it happens with good rulers. Your bad rulers live till they're 60, and your good rulers die at age 3. But that's just the way things go sometimes. But having said all that, we're going to go ahead and call it an episode there. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Tell me about your crazy Swedish uncle and his stories about ice fishing up in Wisconsin. And also follow me on Twitter. I'm at Snigenhoff. That's SNIGENHOFF. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.